Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. We're back with the Affirmators deck. And instead of the Oracle book today, my little bag of sweary affirmations. I love this. I got this for my birthday, and I'm dying because it is hilarious. So anyways, sorry. I had my rings on from last night because I was doing some meditation work. But, yeah, so I know I love them, right? This is one of my moonstone rings that I've had for quite a few years now. And, my onyx, because it's, one of the birthstones for the Capricorn, aside from a garnet. But, yeah, it's the Capricorn stone, so garnet is January, which is when I was born. The month I was born. So anyways, yeah, usually I wear this one. I also have rose quartz and some turquoise, and ooh, my rings are getting loose. Anyways, sweary affirmations as I continue to ramble. Like I said, you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Let's see, I had my Pop-Tarts this morning and my coffee, so good to go. The mood is elevated. Alright, let's see. Here's one. Actually, I don't even know why I'm shuffling like crazy. They're all pretty ingenious. All right, number one. Do one thing every day that makes you feel fucking fabulous. I told you, sweary. My little bag of sweary affirmations. Thank you, Heidi, for these. So, the chakra symbols. So again, do one thing every day that makes you feel fucking fabulous. Alright, sweary affirmation number 2. Not loving myself is total bullshit. Not loving myself is total bullshit. It really is. Not loving yourself is total bullshit. What are you waiting for? Get out there and fucking do it. And we'll do one more. No. I am more than worthy. I'm a fucking warrior woman. Or man. You know, and one more. Okay, one more. So, I like this. My future is a golden, sparkly explosion of fucking awesomeness. Yeah! Alright. Anyway, my fun for the morning. So, but remember that. Not loving yourself is total bullshit. I'm going to post that one today. See if I can get away with it. But, alright, Affirmators. Affirmators. So, let's see what we got today. Impermanence. This card came up the other day and I stuck it back in the deck. Because it didn't feel like it was for that day. So, impermanence. And you know what? There's that little ocean, right? And there's that big wave. So, this is what I was talking about when we let... Oh, and the storm out here, right? So... You can either look at it as the ship going towards the waves or the ship going away from it towards the sunlight, right? But there was an analogy I used to use where you're in the sea of misery and you're on the island of... I can't remember what the island was, like the island of isolation or whatever, kind of like Alcatraz, right? In the middle of the sea of misery. But there was the sea of misery, and then you would have to sail through this wall of waves, which could be anything, whatever your trauma is, your CPTSD, PTSD, whatever stuff has ever happened, right? And then you sail through the wall of waves, and you move towards the ocean of bliss, the ocean of bliss, right in here. So, I love the analogy for this card. Life is always changing, and I drift easily through those changes, good and bad. As I drift through hard times, I can take comfort in knowing that I will leave them behind. As I drift away from good times, I can take comfort in knowing that more will come my way. Impermanence is an equal opportunity non-entity. Now, I always look up the definition for impermanence, and I always get kind of jumbled by it. I don't know why. It's just a word that does not stick in my head. So, while I'm here, let's try to look this word up, all right, and see what we can get out of it. So, and not so much so we know how to talk about it, but so that we actually know what it's all about and what it means moving through the good times and the bad times. It's a state or fact of lasting for only a limited period of time. So if you were to relate to it in the tarot deck, right, it would be the Wheel of Fortune. Now the Wheel of Fortune is always turning. If you're not into that, and you can always think of it as, things will always get better. Look on the bright side. When it comes to good times and bad times, how we handle them is really what makes the difference. We can either run from it, all the bad times, or we can run at it so that we can break through that wall, right? We can break through this storm and get away from it back into the sunshine and the ocean of bliss. So again, impermanence is the state or fact of lasting for only a period of time. So a lot of times we make the mistake of saying, oh, well, I'm always afraid to enjoy the good things because I never know how long it's going to last. Don't worry about that. Don't overthink it. Stay in this moment. Stay in this moment. Don't think about the past. Don't think about the future. Stay in this moment. Don't worry about what's going to happen next. This is what they're talking about. Life is always changing. And I drift easily through those changes, good and bad. So again, when we talk about that, it all depends on how you look at it. Yeah, there's always going to be something bad that's going to happen. But we can live in that feeling, or we can move through it to get back to the good feeling. Sometimes when we're going through stuff, whether we're healing trauma, whether we've been through trauma, or sometimes we get stuck in our pain. We get lost in our pain. And I'm speaking from a place of understanding because I've done that. I have done that. I have been stuck in my pain. I have been trapped in my pain to the point where it became so familiar and so comfortable, I didn't know how to move out of it. And we have to learn how to move out of it if we want to heal and we want to get better. But a lot of times we'll get stuck, and this happened to me as well. I would get stuck right at the precipice, right? Where you're ready to take that leap, but you're so afraid to because you don't know how long the good feeling is going to last. So again, whether you have a dinged up mental health like mine, or you don't, we are all going to approach good times and bad times. Now, it doesn't matter whether you have a dinged up brain or not. Sometimes we still approach things the same way. Excuse me. You know what's funny? Whenever I'm about to say something that can really help somebody, all of a sudden my throat my sinuses just start draining. So, excuse me, I'm trying to be sexy. So anyways, excuse me. Good morning, older sibling. I just saw that she was on. So, here's the thing. See, it's trying to make me forget my thought. It doesn't matter if you have a dinged up mental health or not. Okay? Like I said, a lot of times we'll approach things the same way. And we become afraid. We're afraid to step into the unknown. And that's for anybody. There's a lot of people like that. Maybe every time something's been going so good, something went bad. Now, in my way of thinking, when things are going to go really great, there's always going to be something out there poking at you to try to make you stumble and fall. When that happens, we have to figure out how to pick ourselves back up and not sit in that for so long. The good can still be happening right alongside the bad. Okay? But like I said, it's how we approach the subject. It's how we face these bad things that makes the difference on how quickly we get back to the good things. I mean, maybe you don't have everything you want, but be grateful for everything you do have. And that will hopefully bring more in for you. Can you hear that? The trash men are here. So I really need to soundproof my room. Like, legit. I need to make a foldable wall and just stick it up in the morning against my window. So anyways, because it's super quiet over here. But over here, ooh, all the action, because my desk is right next to the window. Not that you needed to know that, but now you do. So anyways, excuse me. I don't know why I'm struggling with this one, because I totally get it. And maybe that's it. Maybe I'm struggling with this one because I know how hard it is to run at the pain. For a long time, I ran from the pain. And I think that's what a lot of us do. We run from the pain because we don't want to feel it anymore. We figure, hey, I've already healed this. Why is it still chasing me? It's chasing you because you're not done healing it yet. And trust me, I didn't understand that when I first read that. When it says, when we don't want to deal with things, we just, it's in a billion self-help books, right? When we don't want to deal with things, we tend to ignore them. But in my case, I run from them. That's how I see it in my head. And it's because something else needs to be healed in that process. Healing is like an onion, okay? It's constant layers until you get to the end. But here's the funny thing. At some point, this thing is going to come up again. And you're going to be like, seriously? What? And you're going to face it without even thinking about it. And that's when you know that you are probably healed. And I will say probably because sometimes there might be a few more layers that you have to go. But it's building your strength. Let's use the analogy again of the itchy scratchy blanket. You can pick the itchy scratchy, wholly not worth anything blanket because it's comfortable and it's familiar, or you can pick this beautiful, wonderful, fluffy, cozy, warm blanket and enjoy it. The ride doesn't always last forever. Okay, we know that. I mean, we've all probably been in relationships that have come and gone. I've been in relationships that have come and gone. In fact, I've been single for so long, I pretty much can't remember the last relationship I'm in. That's not true. But, I mean, it's not true that I can't. I can remember all of them. I have this strange memory where I can remember a lot of things. But I used to be mad at that. That, I've been kind of rolling this world alone. I mean, I have sibling and baby sibling. But you know what I mean. Like single. But I realized when it does happen, it's going to feel magical. It's going to feel amazing. Because I know what I deserve now. And I know my worth. And I didn't back then. And I was there to serve. I was there to exist for their enjoyment, their happiness. It didn't matter if I was happy or not. Because I wasn't alone. Okay, I was with somebody. But in a way, it was like being alone, but not being single. Know your worth, all right? To me, impermanence is a really good way, a really good concept of this. Impermanence is good or bad. And it really is change. I don't know how I never put that one together the first time I got this card. But yeah, impermanence is change. It's not permanent. It's not permanent. Life isn't permanent. Life is constantly changing. I'm not who I was 10 years ago. I'm not who I was 5 years ago. I'm continually growing. But even if I was who I am now 5 years ago, I'm still not that same person because I've had different experiences since then. I've gone through different things since then. I'm not who I was 10 years ago because in the last 10 years, I've lost 3 people in my life that were very, very significant and important. And that was all in the first 5 years of that 10 years. The last 5 years has been healing. All these things kind of projected me towards, healing. It's kind of a poof. Like I got shot out of a damn cannon. And it was like, I can keep running from it, or I can face down the cannon and saying, hey, stop shooting me out of you because I'm tired of it. And I faced all these things and I healed a lot of them. And I did it with the help of people, that I follow on Twitter that I've never met but have a good friendship with. Or never met in person. With my own family and friends. With, sibling, older sibling and baby sibling. I'm lucky to have that support system. And I know not everybody is. That's why I do my best to be a support system for other people. Because change is hard. Change is hard. For some people, I admire the people that just breeze through change. Like, oh, hey, something new. Like they look forward to the unknown. Like it's a magical adventure. And then there's others of us who, see that dark cave. And then maybe we can't see the light around the corner, right? But we're freaking out because we're like, oh my God, it's dark in there. I don't know what's going to happen to me. Well, chances are nothing's going to happen to you. Well, maybe not the best analogy. Okay. So anyways, going into an unknown situation, right? Say you're a person who gets anxiety being around a lot of people. So you don't want to go and hang out around a lot of people. But you don't know if you might be missing something amazing. You might go in and have the best time of your life. You know, it's like older siblings' mom, right? Okay, so both of them have told me these stories, but mostly older siblings. She tells it better because I think, her mom would kind of hold back on her, her part in these things. So, which was kind of funny, but she did talk to me a lot about, stuff. So, but older sibling would say, whenever we had to go somewhere, whether it was an event, an award show, or, a party, Mom would just drag her heels. It was like pulling teeth trying to get her to go anywhere. But she's all, then I'd leave the room and I'd come back and she's like the center of attention. The life of the party. And that's how I think a lot of us look at change. We're so afraid that we dig our heels in, right? And we literally fight like we're backed into a corner. And then when we get to that point, it's like, oh, that's not so bad after all. So we have to decide, do we just want to go with the flow, which is basically what impermanence is all about, because that's exactly what change is. You can either dig in your heels and make it harder for yourself, or you can go with the flow. Change is scary, I know. But you know what? Even if something doesn't last forever, enjoy it while you can. Enjoy every moment while you can. And just know that in all of this enjoyment, when the times do go bad, instead of fighting back, look at it, take a step out of the box and look at the situation and think of it in a way as, how can I move through this situation? How can I move through this change? And, can I make it better, or do I have to just keep moving forward? But remember, self-love, self-worth, self-respect, you got to remember all those things when life is changing, because life is always going to change. And just know that you deserve the best, that you deserve wonderful things in your life. You deserve people that will treat you well, that will respect you, because remember, impermanence, it is a state of not lasting long. All right, I'm going to read this card one last time. Life is always changing, and I drift easily through those changes, good and bad. As I drift through hard times, I can take comfort in knowing that I will leave them behind. As I drift away from good times, I can take comfort in knowing that more will come my way. Impermanence is an equal opportunity non-entity. So remember, it's an equal opportunity non-entity. But again, just to reiterate one last time, when we start moving from those good times into the bad times, how we face it will determine how quickly we move through it, and if we really do leave those good times. Because remember, good and bad things happen all the time. And sometimes, like I said earlier, they happen simultaneously. And sometimes they'll parallel each other. They'll just be like, hey, you know what? It is what it is. But how we choose to move through it, whether we choose to run from it or run at it, can really make the difference. All right. So that is a hard card, and that's a hard card because I have struggled with impermanence like you would not believe. So, well, maybe you would, because I just shared about it. So anyways, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Please, please, please take care of yourselves. I will see you back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live. All lives are public. Anybody can watch. Yeah, all lives are public. Anyone can watch under Shelly Marie Lucas, or you can catch the replay on YouTube under the Aloha Perspective with Shelly Marie, or you can catch the shorter version of this on TikTok, again, under the Aloha Perspective. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.